Hello, everyone, and welcome to HiPod number 8. It's me, HiGPS, and I have a special guest today. Where is my special guest?
Hello. Oh, well, one of us is gonna have to change. We're wearing the same thing.
No, where are you? I don't see you.
Oh, hi. I'm
Oh,
here.
well, that went smoothly.
I
So
know.
we're wearing.
fucked up.
You're wearing. We're wearing the same shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of us is gonna have to change.
Yeah. Obviously. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll just change off camera because you don't want to see me in my drawers when I change. And stuff like that. So let me just get everything in order. Here we go. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because this is obviously very planned. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we rehearse this a lot. Like you can hear all the things.
Oh shoot.
All right,
Hang
we're
on.
back, and you're on the table looking. All right, we'll be right back once you get in position. All right. You just gotta not go. You okay there?
I'm trying. I'm trying my best, honestly.
Okay, you don't have to do the third person thing. You just need to stand in the chair. Come on. Close enough. There you go.
There
You're
we
now
go.
oh fuck, who cares? Hey! Welcome to podcast! The first try is me, GPS, with special guest, Miss Moth. How are
Hello.
you doing today?
I am doing well. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing great too. Because I just remembered we need to actually move our mouse. Or mouse when our mouths move. How'd you say that with a
Okay.
Boston accent? Like, you have to move your mouse with your mouth when you talk.
You have to move your mouse with your mouth as you talk. That's pretty normal, actually.
Yeah, like, we do it all the time. So, it's been a while since I've done a podcast. Last podcast was with a pyro named Johnny, and now we have a pyro named Miss Moth. We're starting to see a pattern emerge here. Because I'm a sniper main, as you can obviously see, but pyros are good against spies, and I don't like spies, and therefore I like pyros.
Yeah, and
I-
you know what? I run the home wrecker, so I am doubly the enemy for spies.
Yeah. Good. Also, move your head when you talk.
I'm trying.
Okay. All right, so we have a podcast. It's titled Feelings and Stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's why we have a girl, because girls have feelings and guys, we don't. We guys, we're just robots working off of logic.
Macho men.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. But we have some things to talk about. First of all, I don't think, unless I have a lot of YouTube, what do you call it, like YouTube sluts, like YouTube who watch a lot of other YouTubers who are not just loyal to just one. They probably don't know who you are. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about like who you are, how long you've been on YouTube, and like what got you started making the content that you do, just briefly.
Oh, okay. So my YouTube username is Miss Moth. My real name is Marissa, and I've been doing YouTube for about a year and 2 months now. I've been making content since March of 2015. I started making content because I started to really get into Team Fortress 2, like about, I want to say, maybe a year before I started making YouTube content. And I saw that the community was really great with, YouTubers. And I thought, wow, I want to make people happy like that. And you know what? I just decided to go for it. And it was a learning curve, and, I got to where I am today.
Cool. That's like you were like, I'm just gonna make people feel happy with my videos. That's okay. My short story, I started in 2011 when free to play hit, and I was like, God damn, there's a lot of people that don't know how to play the game. Fuck. I want to play against people who know how to play, so I started making tutorials, and that's that. So,
Yep.
we have very different entrances. You're just all about feelings. I'm like, mine's kind of selfish because I want the people I play with to be good. Therefore, I make YouTube videos for them so I can crush them later.
Yep.
Yep. So, you mainly make commentaries, right?
I do make commentaries, yeah.
Yes. The commentaries that I make fun of and think are stupid all the time. I made a commentary called A Buttery. It's just a butt, and I was being a spy, and I was being a butt, and I was doing that. I also had something called High Mud, which is like dumb backwards, and it was just a parody, and nobody got the parody, and everybody just thought it was a bad video. But I satirize a lot of stuff, like when people say live commentary and then it's edited.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everything is live when you record it. Everything is live. But yeah, that's not why we're here, partly. But from what I understand, you record some generic pyro footage, and then you write a script, and then you read the script, and then you compile the two together, so you have gameplay on one end and commentary on another end, and those two doesn't really talk to each other. Like you're not saying what's going on the screen, you're talking about something else.
Yep.
Okay. Very common on YouTube, in fact. A lot of like the biggest gaming channels is actually this. I'm a fan of. I don't really watch a lot, but I've been watching Game Grumps because I've been like a fan of Eager Raptor since like 7th grade when we first got
Yeah,
internet.
I love Game Grumps. They're awesome to binge watch.
Yeah. So, well, I've been a fan of him since he was famous on Napster for making like Dragon Ball Z parodies, like way back in the day when I was like 11 or something like that. So it's pretty cool, and it's like sort of the same format. They have a conversation and you just talk to something else. So it's like the same format. It's very popular that you listen to something, but instead of like the normal podcast format, which is just a blank screen or nothing or just an audio track, you just have some visuals to do that. And people like that. I don't, but others like that.
Everyone has their opinion. I mean, it's up to the content that you enjoy watching.
Exactly. So that's why I brought you on, because I can't understand why it's interesting, but I can understand why other people like it, because people must be allowed to like stuff, and people maybe like things for different reasons. So that's the content that you make. So that's short about you. So if you want to check out some casual commentaries, and you talk about feelings and stuff, right? You're talking about
in just one of them. It's more like a personality thing.
Okay. Because I remember, like, I haven't watched a lot of your commentary, but I watched one of them. I watched the one about meaning, meaning and emotion.
Yep.
I'm not sure how you do that, but I ended up with integrity, and I was going to play spy for a main, according to your quiz. So that's basically the horoscope of TF2, and I thought that you must have spent a while creating that, because I don't imagine, like, I just go click, 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 and then I get something, but I assume there's a lot of work with the different choices and ending up where you end up.
Well,
Right.
when I made the quiz, first of all, I was thinking about, what is a fresh new idea for TF2 YouTube? And there's this problem in the TF2 YouTube community of, what does originality mean? Like, oh, you can't do this because so and so already made this video. I'll give you guys an example. So if you guys are familiar with Muselk, he did a video of Uber chaining medics. And that was with him and his friend Tava. All of us are really close. We're actually pretty good friends. And when he put it out, he immediately got flack for it because Star and Germa did pretty much the same thing. And it's one of those things, it's like, oh, you've done it, this person's done it first, therefore no one else can do it again. And so that's one of my biggest fears, is that, oh, someone else has already done this, so you're going to get called out on it. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. And so, I noticed around the time I made the video that everyone was pretty, salty. There were still hackers, like a ton of hackers. It was before the LMAO box wipe. And it was right in the height of matchmaking or the matchmaking beta, where everybody was in, but no one was at their ranks. So, like, teams that were stacked against, pre-made teams, they would get wiped. So everyone was really, really kind of sick of the game, upset, they weren't focusing on, how the game was, it's a game, how it's supposed to feel. And so I decided, hey, let's see if we can spice things up with like a personality quiz. Like, oh, what should you focus on as a person,
Okay.
as a player?
Yeah. Okay. Just a quick note, like on that one with the Germa Star video with the medic trains. Do you have the date or do you have the link to the video where they did that? Because I did a video and I don't pay attention to this, and I wonder, did I do it before they did? That's what's important to me.
I'm pretty sure if you YouTube it, like Uber chaining medics, Muselk and Star will come up. I don't know where. I don't have two computer screens. I can only focus on doing the movement of of my pyro. So.
Okay, they did it 4 years ago. Okay, I found the video. Okay, mute. All right, let's see. It's on January 16th, 2012. Oh, I probably didn't do it then. But yeah, like I remember Medic Train was something I discovered by myself by seeing someone else doing it in a pub. And then I did it like as soon as the Ubersaw came out because it was really strong because air blasts either weren't invented or they didn't work on Ubers.
Yeah, wasn't that a thing like way, way, way back? Like I started playing the game in May of 2013, so it's like I don't know anything. I don't know a time where there wasn't an air blast. So, like, was there a time that you couldn't air blast Ubered people away from each other?
Yeah, I remember I was really bummed when Ubersaw didn't give healing back to the spies. Wait, hold on. Because it was in... Crap. I gotta look at I should have looked at this before. I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, but I don't think... I don't think I have a dedicated episode to that, actually, if I remember correctly. Because it required someone else, but we had... Yeah, I talked about it in 2011, I think, because my YouTube video is actually a year older because I used to upload it to Blip. So I did it in 2011, guys. Kudos to me. And I also had some other YouTubers actually talk to me, like the No Fungineer thing. I had a YouTuber who came to me and was like, dude, I got a lot of views from a guy who copied what I did and said, like... Or someone else said they did exactly what I did, but they had a larger following, so they had a larger success. And then people were like accusing me of saying like, or there was one guy said like, "Oh my God, you copied him," and then I just told him the dates of the uploads, and then he shut up.
Yeah, it's kind of a race to see who can get that content done first.
Yeah.
And who can do it better. So you can do it first and get maybe like 2,000 views, but if there's someone who outlands you in subscribers and they get 15,000 views on it, they're automatically going to assume, oh, he did it first. And you can't go to every single one of them that said, oh, you copied so-and-so, because you can't just like copy paste the dates into every single chat or comment that says it.
Yeah.
It's just, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, that goes for the whole thing about like being original, right? So I think like if you make gameplay, like there's only so much stuff you can make, right? Because you have tutorials, and then you have gameplay and entertainment and source filmmaker and Garry's Mod, and that's it. That's all the genres you can make something in. But I'm always about like you want to make the stuff you want to make, but it isn't necessarily the stuff you want to make that is popular. Take me for example. You have probably a much larger growth of both views and subscriber counts than I do. That is because your content, the way you make commentaries, the length, the way they are created is very familiar to a lot of people.
Yep.
Because a lot of other people do them and it's like, oh, it's just this. But with me, it's very different. I copied my format off a guy named Day9 from the StarCraft community in 2011 because I lived in Korea and StarCraft was huge there. And I've just been following that format. It works pretty well for me, and it's like kind of like infotainment, long videos. So this is for like the patient viewers. So my viewers are a bit older than others. But I'm very happyfied. That's a word that I just invented.
That's a word.
Happyfied. Hashtag 2016 HiGPS knows English. I'm very happy with my community because I don't get witch hunted online, and the comment sections are pretty good now that I blocked the word first. So if you commented first, It's only going to show for you, you idiot, and no one else. So there's going to be like
I need to get me
thousands
some
of comments be like first, because they were like, oh, there's no fucking comments here. And then everything that's what it calls shadow banned. It's like you post it, but nobody else can see it but you. So it's the ultimate troll from me to you. But yeah, like usually my I'm very happy with my viewers because they're interested in learning, and playing with them is like the best thing ever. There's just so much fun all the time. And then I talk to Dave and others, and they have a much more cancerous community where like a lot more shit happen because they're just more people. And there's I remember like earlier I got like some tweets like, hey, you gotta follow HiGPS, his content is really good, he deserves more subscribers. And I'm like, no, I'm very happy with what I am. I don't want that avalanche of of people just swarming in. And just all that stuff. So I'm very happy with what I am. I reached my goal of 10,000 subscribers. So anything above that is great in my book.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that my subscriber base and my fan base is so supportive. I remember when I first started doing YouTube, I have a really close group of friends, and we all are very honest with each other. They're all Australian. I'm the only American, so they're brutally honest with me. And they said to me straight out, you're going to only get subscribers because you're a girl, and you're only going to get, comments. Like, your comment section is going to become cancerous within your first 1,000 subscribers. And I'm very thankful that that has not been the case. And I've gotten messages saying like, oh, you're really refreshing to be a girl in the TF2 YouTube community, but it's not just because you're a girl, it's because you make interesting content that I like to watch.
Yeah.
Which I haven't, fully grasped yet. I mean, I'll look at videos that I spend absolutely no time on, and I'll wonder, why is this like one of my most viewed videos? It's literally just me rambling about nothing, which I guess goes back to probably why you don't like post commentaries so much. It's because sometimes they don't contain substance, and I'm hoping to remedy that with at the summer as it comes on. I have a whole new series planned where it's not going to be post commentaries. It's actually going to be like an episodic series of things.
That's cool. Well, I think like the whole YouTube thing, like it doesn't make a lot of sense now, but I think like in maybe 5 years when some research has been done, I think it's going to be a reason to why certain YouTubers and certain type of content is very popular. And I think like the major factor is loneliness, actually.
Yep.
Because let's say, like, I don't know how many of you guys do this, but I'm never lonely. I'm never bored. I never feel alone, and I have like real friends I can hang with. I dance like ballroom dances and swing dances. I do a lot of physical activity, and
me too.
That just makes you happy, right? Like just being in motion and touching other people in their hands and other places too, if they allow you to, but don't do that without their permission or consent, because wow, this took a weird turn quick. But basically, like that's like human contact, physical activity just generates happiness, pretty much. And there's a lot of people like you who fucking never. I'm talking to you, viewer. Yeah, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Sitting there in just your fucking underwear and like eating whatever it is you're eating, and you haven't like even been outside today, and you gotta exercise, man.
You're saying this to like your viewers, and you pretty much described everything about me at this current point in my life.
I'm talking to everybody because that's like also the way like I view my viewers. Like I genuinely do not care what they think at all. Like I make the content I want to make and I put it out, and if they want to watch it, it's up to them. And if they want to give a comment, it's like usually when I look for comments is if there's something technically wrong with the video, like the audio was too loud or it's artifact or something like that. Other than if they liked it or didn't like it, it doesn't really matter, because if they don't like what I make, they're not going to watch it. So whoever like kudos to you, fucking stick around and watch all this, because you're the best. It's a bit weird because a lot of other people or YouTubers, they care so much about the comment section, and it's just unfiltered, anonymous hatred a lot of times.
Or shit posting.
Yeah, shit posting. Like, why the fuck bother? And I also have a Steam group where like most of the discussions take place. So I think the more effort you add to actually people being in contact with you, the different kind of people you have. So I have like a very dedicated group of people who were like, we're discussing all kinds of balance changes, and then there's a thread that's like hundreds of pages long, I think, or something like that, and just people are just rambling on. And
It's like the 2-word insert YouTuber's name here story, where they like comment 2 words and they try and make a story, and it goes on for like 500 pages, and you're like, no, stop! This isn't entertaining.
well,
This
for
is
them it
weird.
For them it is. But yeah, I do read all the comments. I just usually don't mind them all, and if they're insults, then I just let them stay there, unless YouTube filters them out.
I don't delete comments. I really don't like deleting comments. If they have a problem with the video or with me, they are more than welcome to voice that opinion. And I will never delete a comment unless it's something like extremely bad. And I think YouTube like catches all of the really like gross spammy comments of like stuff like that too.
Oh yeah. The only time I delete comments or ban users if they're just spreading misinformation about things.
Yeah.
That's like the only time. Otherwise, you can do whatever. Just don't say the Razorback's good.
Just don't say the Razorback's
yeah, that's my
good.
joke. That's my joke. People think I hate an item in TF2, but I'm just going along with it. But yeah, so different audiences. My audience is usually there to learn. And one thing, like I'm not sure if you play with your viewers or if you do like subscriber things or something like that, but
I'm gonna try to do that later.
I did a video showing how you can avoid getting headshot with a lot of tricks that I use myself, but I haven't really told anyone. It's basically, it's just like looking up and like turning. If you look at my heavy, right, if you aim directly at my head and I just move, you can see like I'm spinning, right, and you can use that to avoid that. And the day after, I was like, I'm gonna play snipers with my viewers. And guess what? Everybody was fucking doing this, and I couldn't hit anything because they were so good at dodging.
Oh well, no, you know what? You dug your own hole there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you
and
did
that's
that to yourself.
Yes, and that's exactly what I want. That's why I created the channel. Like it was one time where I was like, oh, we're gonna do an episode where we're gonna be a troll medic, and we're only gonna heal the first person we see until that person die or we die.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I played with them, and I didn't get healed. Or something, and it was just worse. Like I really just sabotaged myself there. But yeah, that's just what I like, and I think if you build like you're still very early in the YouTube building community, so if you just build your community correct from the ground up, you gotta make what you want to make and not what people want to see, because what people want to see is Music Star, Germa, PewDiePie, Markiplier, whoever Jacksepticon or whatever, those guys. That's what people want to see. Yeah. So you got to turn into them if you wanna make the content that you want to.
I don't want to be huge like that, really, because after a while you start to lose like the impact of your numbers. Yeah. Like, I remember when I first hit my first 1,000 subscribers, I think I was, like, on cloud 9 for, like, I don't know, maybe a couple days, just being like, wow, this is happening. And then, like, I hit 4K subscribers, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But, you know what, nothing will impact you like the growth that you worked so hard for.
Yeah. This brings us to something we talked about before the show, and there's a couple of people I follow on YouTube. I really like Grade A Under A. He makes good rants, and we talked about this. And he recently made a video where he called out like there's a whole bunch of YouTube drama. It's not drama; it's just people making videos about their comments or something. I don't know.
Yep.
Because it's not a problem if turning off your monitor and going outside, and then the problem disappears. Then it's not a problem, is it?
No.
So think about that. If someone's bullying you online or something, just go away from the computer and go outside, lay down in the grass, look up in the sky, have an ice cream, and be like, man, it doesn't fucking matter, does it? Because I'm laying here in the soon-to-be summer. We're just waiting for the ice to melt here in Norway, but soon there will be green grass and meadows we can chill on. And it's cool. And then we just wait for the winter to get all depressed again and go back to our computers.
Yeah, I live in Boston, so I totally understand that. It's been raining and like almost hailing for about 5 days straight now, and it's almost, it's almost summer, so it's supposed to be warmer. and I'm so done with it. I really want it to be warm out.
Yeah. So I think about we've talked about like how you talk to your audience, and how I talk to my audience is that I don't talk to them at all. Like I talk to them, and don't really say much back unless people have like a question or something. Then I will answer that. But if people are like cracking jokes, I'm not gonna get involved to that unless I think it's really funny. Like when I was gonna spell Team Fortress gameplay and it turned into Teen Fortress, and then some guy.
Jeez.
I misspelled every single class, so we have now the Snooper and the Sui, the new classes.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that on Twitter. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's like the few times when you create some gold. So there's actually a Snooper and Sui episode in the making.
Ooh, I'm gonna
It's
see
gonna
that.
be so fucking dumb. Like one of my biggest
Good, I
videos,
like dumb
my
shit.
biggest video is how to spot a cheater. Where a cheater was like, "Hey, I recorded this demos. Want to make an episode about it?" I was like, "Sure." And then the other one is Pan Cop, where I just go around and beat people with a pan, and I speak really quickly, and it's a direct copy of Axe Cop, and it's like the dumbest thing ever, and people love it.
Yeah, well, people eat that comedy, that slapstick. They eat that right up.
Yep. Because people don't want to learn, right? Well, there's a few people that want to learn. And it makes me kind of sad because YouTube algorithms is like, if you have few views because nobody views you, you're not going to get viewed. But if you already a lot of views, then you're going to get even more views. It's like the catch-22. So I did something very depressing lately because in all my videos, I'm like tutorial, guide, how to, all of these tags on every video. And I like include the maps, I include the unlocks and the classes and everything. So if I go like soldier black box guide, some random video from Star 4 years ago shows up, and my video is like on page 2, even though my video is only about the guides. So thanks YouTube for your algorithm. So that made me a bit sad that like, oh yeah, all the tags that I put in, it actually doesn't matter because I don't have the views, so people won't see it even if they specifically searches for that content.
Yeah.
So that sucks.
It also goes by like most subscribers. So like you said, like Star could have had a black box video and you could have had a guide, and let's say theoretically that your guide got more views than his black box video. Like, we're just theorizing at this point, but his will always be on top because of his subscriber count.
Yeah. Yep. So
Which kind of does not promote growth for smaller YouTubers, unfortunately.
I remember YouTube, they had like this fan ad or something. I'm not sure if they still did, but my ad got featured. Like I submitted to YouTube like for an ad to play for this program, and when the day that ad showed, I got like 1,000 subscribers in a single day, which is a pretty huge growth for me. And then like, because it was only on for one day, it was like basically a free ad spot, and then they just showed that to everybody who watched like TF2 videos, so it's like super good, and then they stopped. I'm not sure why. And I forgot to ask them when I was in the YouTube offices in Norway, because I'm actually one of the biggest gaming channels in Norway, because there's not that many. In Norway,
wow.
So that's
Good for you.
Yeah, good for me. I guess they haven't invited me back, so I might be off the list. Who knows? But
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So, but hey, I think like the bottom line is just make the stuff you want to do and don't care if people are watching it or if you get exposure or not.
Exactly. In fact, I was trying to make a beginner's guide to TF2 YouTube, and that kind of brings me right back to the originality thing. Everyone's done it before, even they've done parodies of it, but like this one is like a comprehensive guide, like right down to the hardware. Like, and the big principle of it is, don't worry about your subscriber count. Don't worry about your view count. The only time you should worry about that is when you're, your size and you've got like, a ton of things and you're only getting like maybe like 30 or 50 views. That means you're doing something wrong and you need to reach out to your audience. But like when you're first starting out, do it for you. Don't do it for anyone else. Just do it because you love to do it. And I started doing it because I realized after my first few videos, I really loved editing and playing and interacting with the community.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like if you like that stuff, you're gonna keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always. I remember I did it in the beginning, and then like I said like if I get over 1,000 views on my videos, I'm gonna be so happy, and I get it now. Not much over 1,000. Like if I make something, if I make a vlog, it's not gonna pass 1,000 because that's not what people subscribe to. People subscribe to the tutorials that I make, and if I make something else, it's very hit and miss if it's a hit or not. But regardless, podcasts are one of them. But I like doing podcasts, talking to people that are nothing like me at all.
Yep.
It just is very important. So speaking of people who are nothing like me at all, in the terms of successfulness, people that are very successful on YouTube. Oh fuck! We forgot about that thing. I mentioned Grade A Under A, and we got totally sidetracked.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
what I was gonna say is that he made an argument that was, oh, you should listen to this person because he has a lot of views and he has a lot of subscribers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make their point valid. They might be the biggest fucking idiot and they don't know what they're talking about. And just because they have a lot of views and a lot of subscribers, they suddenly it's like, oh, but because of big numbers, they have a high score. I need to listen to what he says.
Yeah, no, that's just
Don't do
the
that.
one thing is, yeah, don't do that. You gotta make your own opinions. And sure, you can listen to other people's opinions, but just because they've got a bigger subscriber count, a bigger viewer count, or if they're even like influential in any way. I know like a ton of people that don't have a lot of subs. Like, for example, let's take for example Banny. He's really prominent in the TF2 community. He's not a huge YouTuber, but he's a big streamer. But like when he says something is, you know, the ultimate, like if he said the Fan of War was OP, I bet you like a ton of people would actually believe it and defend him just because he is, you know, who he is. And that's
Yeah.
not an okay thing to do. You need to formulate your own opinions and get the facts. Like go on YouTube's like yours and get information from people who know the game like he does.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I do, right? That's like the only thing I do, basically. But like a lot of people are like, "This is OP, this is broken," and then they can't tell you why, other than, "Oh, it's annoying to play against."
That's not an argument.
Yeah, no, but that's TF2 competitive in general. Like, I'm not sure. Have you played competitive?
I no.
Okay. Yeah, that's an
I've
easy
played, like,
answer. You
one or
either
two.
have played or you haven't played.
No, I have not played.
If you haven't played, you're not missing anything. It's not that great. I used to be a plat sniper back in the day when I played like 8 hours every day and was like super hardcore and not as what do you call, like socially. I was a much bigger asshole to deal with then because I was all about prestige and spending a lot of time. And if people didn't spend the time as much as I didn't respect them because yeah. I had a point with this. Well, it's just like, it's people who spend more time with computers than they do with people, and then they like competitive players are never really satisfied with anything ever. They're always complaining about something and things are all right.
There's always something you
and
can
they're
work
awful
on.
at giving compliments. Like if like it's like Tetris, like mistakes pile up, but correctness disappears.
Yeah, that's a
it's-
really good analogy, actually.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. I probably said it wrong, but that's like the gist of it. That like they only focus on the negative, and that's why it's so cancerous. If you ever go and do a lobby and something like that, you could have like you can be like the best medic, right? You could like heal everybody, and like you save a guy mid-air with like a crossbow, and he lands with like 2 health, and he with a crater, and he saves you, and he's doing all this great work, and then you drop uber fucking once, and they're like, oh, fucking bullshit medic, you fucking suck so much, and it's like, well, I did all this work and. No recognition.
I try to avoid that community,
Oh, yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
It just, I feel like I don't like tossing around the word salt because it's so like, you know, overused and
Oh, yeah.
oversaturated as a word. But yeah, they are salty. They have attitudes and they don't know when to say, okay, that was not the best I can do, but I know that I can do better. It's always, oh, you know what, this person sucks. They're always quick to put the blame on someone, and this isn't like, obviously this isn't for the entire community. I'm looking at people who just don't know that it's a game and don't remember it's a game. So like those are the people I have problems with. I have a ton of friends that are in the competitive community and are who are sweethearts. But like they also forget that this is a game and it's not a huge esport. This isn't like League of Legends where, you know, if you want to get into the esports thing, you got to be the best of the best and you know what? And that's just my thoughts on that, but
Yeah. I mean,
insert comp people getting really mad at me here.
they won't watch this. We're too. It's too much of a scrub channel for them to watch this. Like they're busy watching some other stream, riding top kick and getting drunk on camera or something. I don't know. I met a lot of competitive players in when I was at DreamHack in Sweden, and it was really weird talking to them. They're like competitive players is very different from the people that I normally hang around, because the friends I normally play with aren't the people I play games with. They're just like people I hang out with normally. So it's like, oh, well, these people have a very different view of the world than I do, and they're very angry and upset about things, and not very happy. But yeah, like what I said about the competitive community, that they're never satisfied with anything ever. It goes for any game. Like it's just like the characteristic of that. It's kind of like, I'm not sure if it's a condition they develop or something. I know that League of Legends and Dota helps with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like it actually enforces that because you're always in a team, and when you start to lose, you just start to blame everybody else. And if you just do that long enough, like it changes the way you think, and it's really not healthy. And at the end, you're completely inept to enable that or to see that you're not very good, but you are unable to see that others are good too. So it's just sad, and I hope that people will do other things than just play games, because it makes you happier and see things better.
A game is entertainment. If you're not entertained by the entertainment, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can be angry and upset about other things, but you shouldn't be like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can yell at people, but it shouldn't be like. Too bad, I guess. Whatever. Says the guy who yelled at the guy yesterday when we played Smash because I couldn't fucking beat him. Oh god, I was so mad.
Oh man.
But I like losing, because I rarely meet people who are like consistently better than me. But he was, and I'm gonna get him next time. I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna get better, and that's how you deal with that. So while we're on the topic of we have talked about most of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, but we have some more points here, and that is the worshipping. We covered that earlier, like worshipping of YouTubers, and basically the whole thing about having heroes. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents about me first. I have never had a hero or anyone I have looked up to in my life ever. People are like, hey, don't you want to be like him, like the hero guy, or Superman or Batman? I'm like, no, I want to be myself. And people are like, well, don't you look up to your dad? And I'm like, no, he's my father. Why would I? I'm very much super independent, and I don't rely on others, and I kind of power myself to do the goals that I want to do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a martial artist because this superhero is a martial artist. It's like, no, I want to be a martial artist because I want to fight someone. That's like my view. But I think that's has something to do with the internet culture, especially now, because people, they worship YouTubers, like it could be even people on Twitter and Tumblrs and Instagrammers or whatever social media you're on. They worship them like gods, right? Basically like gods, and they act the same way that if you slant them, they act like the extremists who they basically try to decapitate you online with their comments and witch hunting and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you said this about them, we're gonna have them swat your house. Or something like that. And this is going a bit off topic, but it goes to my theory that is like, yeah, we have a lot of people who these days, especially in Norway, that are like atheists and not very religious. And people are, oh, well, religions are stupid, and how could you believe in God and stuff? And then they like worship some YouTuber exactly like a god. Like they get mad when people insult them. They swallow everything he says whole, and he can do no wrong ever. And it's like, that's I think that's pretty spot on, man, because just, wow. I mean, don't like me, like the things I teach you. I hope.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was talking with a lot of friends of mine, and when I put out, like, for those who might be familiar with my content, I put out a video called Fighting the Fan Faux Pas, and I asked a bunch of well-known YouTubers, like, what is your biggest thing that your fans do that really makes you, you know, mad? And I got a ton of submissions. I only used a few of them in the video, but
I think I remember that.
Yeah, they basically said when they always take things that are literal, or when they don't detect sarcasm, or when they're one of the ones was inability to think for themselves. And you know what? We're only human, and I feel like I need to like drill this into people's heads that
Yeah.
YouTubers are human. We have jobs, we have lives, we have families, we have emotions. We're not just a voice that you hear on the other side of your computer screen. You could walk into us on the street
Yeah.
tomorrow and look me directly in the face and apologize for bumping into me, and you would have no idea who I was, even if you religiously watched my content, because we're only human.
Yeah.
And
And
it's weird to think that there are people out there who are so dependent on other people. They have no concept of independence, so that they have to take everything that a voice on their computer says as martial law.
yeah. And to me, like I don't like the things about the YouTube and you drilling in. Like I don't care about that stuff like at all because it's like I don't bother telling people this because that's not the type of content I am showing. But like if like you do that, like you really invest yourself, and I think like when you do that, you open yourself up to a lot more hurtfulness and drama than if you didn't. But
Hmm.
that's a comment you make. Like you want to make. If you want to speak from the heart, you fucking do that. And I know other YouTubers do that as well. And I kind of seem like a pattern for people who get popular on YouTube, and it's they always have some kind of relatable weakness that makes them like people like them more. Like especially like if you, I remember when I first started with YouTube Let's Plays, I watched the Yogscast, and they were just so fucking bad at everything they did, and they were so incompetent, and we loved them for it. You know, it was like weird. But if you come
Yeah,
on, I
it's if
don't.
you are relatable
Yeah,
to
relatable.
people.
But I don't think. I think like I don't really have that because I think I'm too independent, and like I don't care what they think or how they feel or anything about that. I'm a bit. I'm like a director person. Like I just want to get the job done. I don't care what you think or how you feel. We just get the job done and then it's over. But you see, like other YouTubers, like yeah, like Uncle Dane and Ari7, they have a very different way of approaching their audience. It's a bit more personal
Hmm.
level, and that just resonates with people, and then people share it, and then you get like this whole thing going. So often like you see others like if you have like a squeaky voice or you talk a certain way, if you're not like obviously if you're not as masculine and awesome as I am, people get afraid, because they're afraid of the awesomeness. Check out these cannons, boom, yeah, check that out.
Heck
Nice.
yeah.
So yeah, it just goes for relatable because yeah, I'm not. I think I'm pretty sure I'm not as relatable as those guys, and they're or charming or interesting or funny. And
When it comes to my audience, like we talked about this a little bit earlier prior to the show starting. Um, with my audience, I talk to them like I would talk to a friend.
yeah,
And it kind of goes back to what you were saying. Like, a lot of people, don't go outside. A lot of kids, let's be honest, a lot of kids play TF2. It's probably within like the 12-ish, is probably about one of the youngest I've seen, to about, I want to say about 18. Like, it's that core 6 years is probably the basis of TF2's player base. And at that age, you're in middle school, you're just starting high school, you're not really a fully fledged adult, so you probably don't have many friends. And I appeal to and I
oh,
say
the fucking bird! You don't have friends. You heard it here from
well,
Miss Moth. You don't have friends.
well, you probably do. And you know what? For those that don't, they go to YouTube and the TF2 community
exactly.
for their friendships.
Exactly.
And so adding that personal touch to my videos, like speaking to you, like if we were face to face, I would talk to you, maybe not as enthusiastically as I do in my videos, but I would treat you with the same familiarity that I would if you were listening to something in one of my videos, because I really do care about people and probably care too much about people. If I've had people come to me and be like, yo, I have this problem, can you help me out with this? And I'd end up, staying with them for a really long period of time because I've been cursed with, a really caring heart. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
and I
like I
probably
can, I,
get too
like I see. I
invested.
think you've been blessed with too much because it's actually radiating out of your head.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so you might put
Forgot
a plug
about
on that.
that.
I think there's a leak of love somewhere.
Well, at least there's plenty of it to go along. It
Yeah,
hasn't
exactly.
stopped yet. It hasn't stopped. So.
Yeah. I just see someone comment who's like shitting on when he's obviously an atheist and when I like shat on atheists he probably feels hit when he probably worships a YouTuber and he's an atheist and then he gets called on it and then you get mad. Usually if people insult you and you get mad it's usually because what they said is true and instead of your brain going oh yeah that's true that you just get upset instead. But I think I forgot to mention this. I was going to say this in that rant, just going back to that a little bit. There's been a lot of studies that like atheists develop a bit more like psychopathic ways of thinking that causes them to be a bit more radical with the things they like and they don't like compared to people who like go to church and they're a bit more less crazy if you believe it or not. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, I believe is the term.
Oh, my grandfather says that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I think it was a New Yorker thing. It was like put that in your pipe and smoke it or something they said.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, I think that's the way. Yeah, probably Boston. It must have been Boston. It says that. Yeah. Yeah, so that was just going back to that. So yeah, but being caring is very, very important. I think I come across as pretty cold because when I talk to my audience, I talk to like I would have talked to a class in a bit less serious manner.
You probably would be a really good teacher.
Oh, I am a
know
very
you're
good teacher. In fact, I teach IT stuff at work
Oh, wow.
as well. I make tutorials at work as well, and I work in support. So there's like helping people comes very natural. I just don't care how they're feeling or how they are. It's just like
That's kind of a really important aspect
But
of being a teacher.
I know that like because I used to work in a call center before, and it's like if you just agree with whoever you're talking with and be like, oh, you're having problem with the problem you said you're having. Oh well, I can understand that the problem you have is a problem. It's not you're not dumb for having the problem. It happens a lot. I'll fix this for you, and they just turn happy every time. It's like clockwork. You just say, oh, step one.
You say the right thing.
Step one, agree. Step two, empathy. Step three, say you're gonna fix it. People are fucking happy. It works every time. People
Yeah, I love
people
it.
are simple. People are easy, you know? And the thing is, if you're like a bit irritated or you're upset or anything, how long has it been since you've eaten? If it's been more than 4 hours since you've last eaten, you might be a little bit hungry and that's why you're cranky. It's true though. If you ever meet someone, this is a pro-life tip. Like if someone's like yelling at you or being mad at you for something, just ask them like, how long has it been since you've eaten? And most of the times they will say more than 4 hours, and you can be like, okay, take a bite to eat, and you'll feel better, and you get less snappy.
I'm very thankful that I don't get that because I'm a diabetic and I have to eat like on
Oh.
a schedule.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, well,
I'll get cranky.
That's pretty interesting. I have an uncle who's diabetic, and if he doesn't eat enough, he gets super cranky. But as soon as he's eaten, he's like really happy again. So
Yep.
it's like easy
Yep.
to tell.
That's
But yeah, we mentioned some other YouTubers here, and I realized I don't check this often. Like before, when I was a student and I didn't have a job, I would like check my YouTube statistics like all the time, like every day. I would just go over and watch the stats and be like, how can I tweak this? Like, what does it mean? What kind of content can I do? And then I just stopped caring once I started getting a paycheck.
analytics are a little bit broken at the moment. YouTube is a little bit broken at the moment, but like
Everything's
analytics mostly, I don't pay attention to that
Yeah, you
much.
don't. Unless you have like, if there's like a specific goal you want to use the analytics for, then by all means go for it.
Yep.
But I noticed that one of my most viewed videos is actually engineer gameplay with no commentary and medic gameplay with no commentary. Those are those are on the list of the top 10 most viewed videos ever.
Wow.
Think about that. So we have an engineer video where it's just him playing engineer, and we have a medic who just plays medic and there's no commentary. And but obviously it's me playing, so I'm doing very good. Because I have like over 9,000 hours in the game. I should be good because I fucking teach this shit. But that brought me to something that's interesting, because we have two famous YouTubers who are famous and they play a certain class. We have a guy named Ari7, he plays medic. We have a guy called Uncle Dane, and he plays engineer. And they're very much
both very sweet guys.
Yeah, very sweet guys.
I talk to them very often.
Yeah. I have no contact with Ari7, but I know Uncle Dane, and he's a very cool dude, so I'll take your word for it. And but this okay, so now I wish Chief had a tinfoil hat, because now I'll be putting it on, because now it's conspiracy time. It's a
conspiracy
new segment.
Time, all right.
Conspiracy time. So here's the reason why Ari7 and Uncle Dane are so very popular. Are you ready? Is your tinfoil hat on?
Heck yeah.
Okay. Follow this train of thought that is based on nothing. There's like no scientific research
Let
other
me
than
put my train conductor hat on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you know this term, but there's like this scientific terms like, oh, we see nothing so on this planet, so we know there's dinosaurs there. So basically the example is, oh, there's a planet. We don't see anything because there's clouds in the way. Because it's clouds, it's probably warm, so the water is like steaming. And steam usually comes from mud. And when mud gets warm, there's bacteria. And when there's bacteria, they can evolve life forms. And of course, ancient life forms are dinosaur. So by the fact that we don't see anything, we can know that there's dinosaurs there.
Okay, so how does this relate to Uncle Dane and Array7?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked! Because I was like throwing you the ball so hard and like, please ask me this question. Cool. Because this goes back to what I said, like my two most videos are engineer and medic videos with no commentary. Right? And it's like, why is that? And then we gotta think, which two classes in the game does not do the heavy lifting themselves? Which two classes are lazy and have all the others do the work for them? We first have the engineer. He doesn't shoot. He builds a gun that shoots for him. Lazy man. He also doesn't like to run very far, so he builds teleporters. Then the teleporters are like transporting all the stuff, so it's doing that heavy lifting for him as well. And he also doesn't want to go to the health pack, so he builds a dispenser, right? So now he's like, he has these buildings that do everything else for him, so he's already lazy, right? And then we have medics who basically just heal people, and then they do the heavy lifting. And then they pop over once in a while, but they're not the ones doing the heavy lifting, they're just helping them, right? So then that's the class, and then you have the people who play classes who don't do the heavy lifting. Do you think they're gonna go and figure this out by themselves? No! They're gonna go on the internet and look at someone else who's doing the heavy lifting while someone else is doing the heavy lifting. And that's why they're famous, because they have engineers and medics who are too lazy to figure this shit out. Because if you're a glorious sniper main or anything else but those three classes, like a pyro main for instance, you want to learn this shit yourself because you're doing the heavy work and like, I'm gonna learn this. But if you're engineer or medic, you look to others for answers all the time. And that's why.
It's mostly strategy.
Shut up.
Well, also, another way that you can try and prove this theory is look at your own channel. Don't you do engineer and medic guides too? Have you looked at those views compared to your other
Hold on, I'll do that right
guides?
now, actually. I'll do that right now. Why don't you tell a joke or something while I check that?
Oh, I got one. What's brown and rhymes with Snoop? Dr. Dre.
Cool. All right, let's see.
I always tell that one, it always throws people for a blind loop. They're like,
Yeah,
what
okay.
the frick?
I mean, you can't be racist if you close your eyes, because then everything's black.
Ooh. Never heard that one before.
I hope that one is my original, because I don't think I've heard that one anywhere else. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to go back a little bit. So let's go take compare soldier to a random... Let's go engineer, because it's like shorter on the list. So let's go. I'm just going to select a random one between episode 150. So this one has 3,000 something. And let's see, this one for engineer, around the same range. It's going to be this one. And holy crap, double the views.
Top kick.
Double the views. Okay, let's see if this is true for another. Let's see. Let's go pick heavy video, and then let's go pick medic video here. Let's just see. Where is it? There it is. So I'm gonna pick a heavy video from around 150. So there we go. That's this one. And let's go and pick. I'm not gonna show which videos these are, but if this holds through, I will be very surprised because I actually didn't. Because it was a good idea by you to actually like research this and check this out. Let's see if I can find the playlist. Do you think there's like some merit to that? Because I would think like medic and engineer are those who get viewed the most because they're the lazy people.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're lazy. I just think that they require like medic.
Oh yeah, this
really,
one has
really
double the views as
important.
well.
I think medic is really important.
Oh yeah, like
for team composition, and it's like medics are really squishy classes. So if like you don't know how to deal with, you know, first of all, if you're pocketing a heavy the entire round, you're not giving heals to anyone else. You're doing it wrong. And second of all, if you're engineer and your shit's getting sapped like all the time, then you're doing something wrong. Also, that or you really need to employ a pyro to help you out.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that I mained medic before I mained sniper. So I used to play medic in Team Fortress Classic when he was OP and broken.
Oh Jesus!
Because you could, if you healed the enemy team, they got anthrax and he was contagious. And if he ran into the spawn, he infected everybody. So you got tons of kills, and it was cool.
Oh my gosh!
So I was bummed when healing enemy spies actually healed them and didn't make them sick. But yeah, so I've looked at a few videos now, and it seems like medic and engineer videos generally get more views than the other classes. And I think that's because those are the only classes where people just bother looking online because everyone else is doing the work, so they want to let everyone else do the work themselves. Because what happened to me when when I turned to sniper main is that I watched the JH sniper video from ages ago, and I got inspired. I'm like, wow, those are some really good snipes. I'm gonna be that good. And then I didn't watch the video for like 2 years, and I came back to it, and I watched it. I was like, oh, these are mediocre frags at best, but regardless, it was presented well. And I think that's important. Like, if you watch somebody and you get inspired by what they do to like if they watch you and they're like, I'm gonna be pyro and just burn people, then that's cool, right?
I don't condone WM1, though I do it myself sometimes.
I just like, I am the kind of player that I don't care how you win as long as you just win. So if it's WM1, just fucking WM1. I mean, I'm a sniper, so I have to deal with, oh, you just body shotted me, lol, why didn't you headshot me? And I'll be like, well, you were so weak, I was going to show you mercy by not hurting you as much, but I guess you were so bad you died anyway, huh? So that's how I twisted to my advantage. I swear this is a healthy mind condition to have. But yeah, pyros, man. Pyro is the class I am the worst at, by the way. I have tremendous respect for everybody who plays pyro because I think pyro is like the worst class in the entire game.
Yeah, I get a lot of flack for playing pyro. They're like, oh, why do you play pyro? You could have like mained something completely different. It's like, you know what? I'm deadly when I want to be. So it's like I could devastate an entire team if they're being stupid, obviously.
Yeah.
But like that's why people are so mad, is because if it's a good pyro, they can't do jack shit about it. Like, I'm really glad I don't do the reserve shooter because I have a little bit more self-respect.
Oh.
I use a flare gun.
I'm not sure if you saw which shotgun I was running on my pyro.
Oh yeah, reserve shooter.
Yeah, or as I like to call it, the reverse shooter.
The reverse shooter.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, use whatever you think is best. So I think the reserve shooter is best. I'm going to use it because I have no conscience. Like I said, I have no feelings. I'm a robot, so it's all about numbers and just getting the highest score. But yeah, like I try, like, if you can air blast or even air blast rocket jump, you get mad scores in my book. I will just throw those stars. You know those sticker stars you get when you're doing something good? I will fill your fridge with those, man. Because that is mad respect, because pyros, Jesus Christ, you're a running ammo pack that sometimes spits fire.
Yep.
So, but yeah, why did you main pyro, by the way?
I can't air blast rocket jump. That I'm still working on, because that just requires a lot of timing and stuff, and I'm very slow when it comes to timing. But I can air blast, so that's a first step.
That also goes with something that is like your reaction time in the game. Some people react faster than others. It's different for every person. I remember when I did the episode for you back. There's a medic who gets stabbed, and then I just showed in slow motion how long it took for the other classes to turn around, because this was on our server. So if you play spy, you get one kill and then you die because everybody knows you're a spy and hears that stuff.
Yep.
Stuff. That's what we say.
Bots are like the same way.
Yeah.
It's like they immediately have spy sonar.
Yeah, and they will look at you, and if you
Yep.
bump a teammate, they will shoot you instantly. But yeah, it just show that like there was people who had like maybe a second longer reaction time than others. But reaction time is something you can train. You can work on reaction time. There's games online that help you with your reaction time. So just make sure you're not tired and you just play them for a little bit. And if you do that every day, you can increase your reaction time by a lot because you can train that shit. And you can do that so you can become the last air blaster, a master of the air blast, the wind element.
The master blaster.
Yeah. Haven't you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I try to block that movie out of my head.
No, I'm talking about
I've
the
seen
series, the TV
Yeah,
show.
the series was dope. I loved it.
Yeah, it was. I don't think anyone has said something was dope on my show, but there you go.
Well, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we talked about all the stuff I wanted to talk about, but at the end, I'm going to talk about something that I haven't talked about, and I generally don't talk about it a lot, but I'm going to talk about it with you because this is special. The death of TF2. Do you know what it is?
Oh, man. Yes, I do know what it is. And I have talked about it multiple times. And this is actually really cool because I just finished recording a video about Overwatch.
Oh no! Overwatch! The game that's gonna kill TF2, and if you think that, you're a fucking idiot and you should stop. You should just stop existing.
Yeah, I'll cover this in a video, so for those who are watching, look for my channel. But anyway, I'll summarize it really quickly for those of you who don't
spoiler on the
shit.
podcast. Jesus, we get the video spoilers here. Go ahead.
Yep. TF2 and Overwatch are totally different games. I will be 100% honest with you. I first tried it when it was in like really early production in PAX East of 2015. I live like right next door to the convention center, so that was pretty cool. But when I played it at PAX East, I was like, oh, this plays a lot like TF2. I wonder how they're going to do it again. So now I'm in the open beta, and I've noticed that Overwatch has an extremely low skill ceiling. It is very easy to pick up a class, learn its abilities, and play it, and do considerable damage to it too. With TF2, it's skill-based, it's timing-based, it's reaction times-based, but with Overwatch, it's all about strategy and team composition. It is so much better to play with friends in Overwatch than it is to play alone. With TF2, you can play alone in a server and you've got tons of people to choose from, but the numbers like the 12v12 in TF2, there's no strategy that you can coordinate or team composition.
There is. All gunslinger engineer with short circuit beats everything.
Well, you know what? I've been wrong before, and I'm wrong again.
Yeah. I just see people in the chat that's like, GPS's opinion is lesser than everyone else's. Obviously, my opinion is the best opinion ever, and everyone who disagrees is stupid, obviously.
Oh, even that? You just, like, even killed your own argument there, being like, my opinion is right, and yours is stupid.
Yeah, like, I like to contradict myself just to show, like, how, like, dumb a lot of the conversations are, because everybody has their fucking own opinion, and you can present as much fact as you want. If they don't believe you, they don't believe you. And
exactly.
You, like, a lot of people don't know how to argue or debate either. Like, if we're debating or arguing something, it's not my job to change your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, my job is to present you with facts that I have, and then listen to the facts that I have, and then reach a conclusion. And the conclusion, as in most cases, are you can still to believe what you believe, and I believe what I believe, but we have kind of like, we listen to each other and we understand a bit more.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Overwatch is not going to be the death of TF2 because...
No, it's going to help it. And if you've already looked at it, it's already started helping with the LMAO box wipe, with the constant updates of matchmaking. When I was at PAX East this year, I actually talked to two really prominent map makers. They made maps for the Invasion update and for the End of the Line update. And we just kind of sat and talked for a while about Valve. They had recently visited Valve headquarters. And basically what they told me was, I'm going to leave out all the confidential details that I know, but they said that for the last 4 or 5 months, they've been working on virtual reality and TF2, but mostly TF2. Everyone thinks that Valve has abandoned TF2. They haven't. And at the time, they said, like, they told me 4 or 5 weeks, you're going to see something huge hit TF2. And so that was about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to see something huge hit TF2. Yes, I do know what it is, but I cannot tell you guys. It is a secret. It is 100% a secret they confided me in, but just saying that they're not giving up on TF2, and you're going to see you're going to be very impressed with what they're going to do in the next 2 weeks.
So, wait, who told you this?
2 map makers, Crash and Frozen.
Yeah, okay. Basically, I've been, like, there's a lot of stuff with, like, understanding how Valve operates, and they're a private-owned company, and what we see is everything that fails internally at their... They probably have a lot of projects, a lot of things they tried, and a lot of it never saw the surface of the day. So to us, it seems like nothing's happening, but they're currently working on stuff because they want to work on it. But the TF2 team hasn't really... TF2 hasn't got a lot of love lately. Yeah. But one thing I was hoping for is...
Valve some credit. They're really trying. They really are.
But it just isn't showing, and of course, internet being very ungrateful in the things they are. The same way Tetris, all the good stuff swept under the rug, and the few mistakes, that's the stuff we look at. But I do know that Valve listens. I mean, they do watch the community. I mean, they did implement a lot of the stuffs that we work on, me and my community. And they probably listen to a lot of others as well, because we have our view, and even though I think our view is the best and superior in all ways, it might not be the best for everyone, or we might be wrong even though we think we're right. That's always a possibility. So we like to keep an open mind about that stuff. But Overwatch is not going to kill TF2. If something's going to kill TF2, then TF2 is going to kill itself by shooting itself in the foot. Somehow.
Or it's just gonna die out. I mean, if you look at other games, like, here's a good example, by Blizzard, World of Warcraft. In its heyday, it was so big. It had such a huge cult following. And now look at it after a few, bad updates. I don't play World of Warcraft. I'm just listening this from, like, people who actually play it. But, like with the whole thing with, like, Nostradamus. Have you heard about the vanilla server that got shut down by Blizzard because they were running vanilla of the game? That's the kind of thing that's going to happen to TF2. People are going to stop playing it, and there's going to be no community. So, like, the kids that first launched the game with the new players, they're going to go on, they're not going to see a sense of community like there is right now, and they're not going to play it again, because you have to really get into it as a player. Like, you have to be with friends. Like, most people who play TF2, they don't say, like, oh, I see that in the Steam store, I'm gonna get it. They hear it from a friend, or they hear it from, like, a YouTube video, or SFM. SFM is a huge gateway to TF2.
Oh, yeah.
And so, when they do that, when there's no community left, when there's no support left, that's when TF2 is going to die, when they stop making updates. But that's not gonna be for a really long time. Well, give it maybe like 5 to 8 years.
Well, here's the thing. Like, there's a lot of games that's been around for a while, and I think like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed is a good example of that, where they just keep giving yearly stuff, iterations of the same game over and over. So it's not unheard of that TF2 gets like a makeover and turns into like TF3 or something like that. But I think like Valve understands that people are so invested in the game, but I don't think they're gonna just, oh, here's TF3. All the stuff you had in TF2 doesn't transfer. Sorry, bye. I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna, hopefully they're going to upgrade the engine and optimize it for like newer graphics and stuff like that. That's what I'm hoping. And I hope they fix the crouch jump glitch that I keep bitching about over and over and over. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the crouch jump glitch?
No.
Okay.
What's the crouch jump glitch?
If you jump and crouch, you move 1.5 heads up in the air instantly.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you know how fun it is to snipe against people who are good at that? It's impossible to hit them. It's a nightmare, and competitive players do it all the time. And it's a glitch that only really affects snipers. But people hate snipers because if they're on your team, they're fucking worthless, and if you're playing against them, they're a hacker. So we kind of get the short end of the stick there. But that's just my main gripe. That and the other thing I bitched about got fixed, but probably rooted so deep in the engine that it won't get fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think recently now with Overwatch, Valve is what we say in Norway is we say the shitter's on fire, right? The toilet's burning. And it means they have an incentive to do stuff because usually they had a monopoly on a good class-based shooter. We had some other rivals, but they died out pretty quickly because they weren't that good. But Blizzard really knows what they're doing with Overwatch. So it's going to be a bit of a competitor, and I think people who
because they took the good things about TF2 and they implemented it in their game. Here's a good example of FPS that has already shot itself in the foot. Battleborn, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this too. When I saw it at PAX East this year, they announced, first of all, the launch was May 3rd. They announced a DLC, a paid DLC for story, which pretty much already shot itself in the foot as an FPS shooter. DLC shoots you in the foot.
Oh yeah, definitely. The DLC is bullshit.
At least with TF2, you can buy things, but it's not required.
Yeah. And that's what
you get all the weapon drops, you get everything, so it's why bother?
Yeah, that's why I'm really a fan of balancing everything, but I guess I don't think anything should be better than anything else. Because you're a pyro main. Let me ask you a good question. When do you use the fire axe?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, no one else ever does that. Same with the bone saw with the medic. Unless you're a hipster or RA7 or Bonesaw's cool. There's no reason to use it ever. Same with the shovel and the fists for heavy. I only use the fists when I'm on the podcast. That's the only time I use them. But yeah, my philosophy is that every weapon should be viable in the game and nothing should be just a gimmick weapon. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I think we're about done there. We talked about what we wanted. So, Overwatch is not going to kill TF2. It just offers something different. I tried Overwatch. I even made an April Fool's joke video about it. And I like TF2 better. I'm not sure if I'm even going to buy Overwatch. I mean, I bought the fucking the jacket and the cap, and I think I will like the jacket more than I would like the game. Because I
love the jacket. My boyfriend got the jacket, so I steal his all the time.
Yeah. Actually, the button on my jacket broke the first day. We're in the first wash, but luckily I have some very talented costume makers at work that just fixed it in no time. So that was cool. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm very glad that I can sew.
I'm in general, I can tell you the reason I don't like Overwatch is that I'm not a fan of PvP abilities. Having an ultimate makes no sense to me, so that's why I'm not a fan of Dota or any other game like that, because I think if you have enough mana, you should be able to use whatever ability you like, and there shouldn't be a cooldown. And that's why I don't like MMORPGs either. But I still like Girardi though, because throwing piss is fun.
Throwing piss is fun.
Yeah, you can take that out of context and use it anytime. All right, I think it's about time to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming on and rambling.
Thank you for having me.
It was fun. I hope everybody's a bit enlightened. And if you got upset about anything, remember, you can tell that to Miss Moth, because I don't care how you feel.
I care how you feel.
Yeah.
If you think I'm full of shit, tell me, because I will probably agree with you.
All right. Well, do you have any shout-outs or any plugs you want to do before we close out? Maybe you want to plug your channel.
Oh, yeah. If you guys do want to see the content that I do make, I have a YouTube channel. It is Miss Moth. I can be found on Twitter. I pretty much live on Twitter. I will be uploading a new video today. I've got a Steam group, Instagram. I don't know. I've got a lot of things. I have a Twitch. I'll be doing a lot of streaming on Twitch. So if you guys want to check that out, go ahead, give it a subscribe. I just passed 4,100 subscribers, so that's actually pretty nice for me. So if you guys want to, support me, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, be sure to check that out if you want feelings. If you want to If you don't want any change,
It's
then
not
nothing.
just feelings.
Oh, they're not feelings. Okay, fine. Well, you have some new project too, so stay tuned for that. I'll be checking that
Yep.
out as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and if you got offended, then that's too bad. Bye.